Mike Fazell was giving a sermon, and I remember he kept talking about this God that loves you personally, who cares about you, who knows your wounds and your afflictions and things that you're going through, and how he wants to meet you in that place, and how he's available to you. And we didn't talk about Jesus. And so we're being introduced to this Jesus. And of course he's always been in the Word. How we missed that, I don't know. But here he was coming through in the worship. He's speaking to my heart. Here he is in Mr. Fazell's message. And it was the first time, you know, in worship that as we stood up to sing again at the end of the service, that I lifted my hands in worship. And let me tell you, I was self-conscious. I didn't know, we didn't do this. But all I knew at that moment is, I want to praise this God. I'm gonna raise my hands and I am gonna give him praise. And I just had to do it, and I did right then and there. And worship to my God has never been the same after that moment. He knows my name.
We're willing to sing about Jesus. We're willing to sing about love because it had made an impact on our lives. It was no longer just singing by rote.
Those who didn't make the change, who were committed to Armstrongism, simply went to their proof texts to reinforce what they'd always heard, rather than letting the Bible in its full context speak to them.
There were others who left us that held the doctrines of Herbert W. Armstrong over the Word of God.
Many of those folks refused to look at any literature or explanation the church was giving.
And I had a friend who would get a mail packet from us in Pasadena, and he told me this personally. He said, I slammed it in the trash can without even opening it. I didn't want to know what kind of trash you people were disseminating. Well, how can you learn? I asked him, how can you possibly know? How can you know if it's right or wrong if you won't even read it? I don't even want to know. I know it's wrong before I read it. And to this day, he's in one of the other derivative church movements.
One of our presenters who, in disagreeing with our new doctrinal position, said, and you understand he disagreed with it, said, when it comes to this, you either see it or you don't. I agree with him. He didn't see it. He, of course, thinks I'm the one that didn't see it.
They clung to Moses. And as long as they have Moses, they have a veil over their eyes. And we who have seen that, the veil has been stripped away. And we now see the glorious light of the gospel of grace in a way we never could or did before.
We went from a position of error and blindness to a position of spiritual sight.
Christ showed a lot of mercy and guided my path in a way that's very apparent looking back, or I would not have processed the changes. I would have rejected them.
It was devastating. It was devastating. I have never experienced anything like it.
The painful part of our change was that many who walked with us before no longer walk with us. That's the saddest part.
Dear friends, that just kind of turned their backs on you. It was very, very difficult.
Some people divorced over it. Some families still don't talk with each other. Just a lot of pain from that.
Houses divided over that, and the kids just, you remember their tears.
My mom and dad left, and my brothers, and that was hard for me. We just talk about the weather and things like that, you know. That's hard.
to see people that I laughed with and did things together with, you know, and when I see them, they will not speak to me. That hurt. But God heals. You know, you pray for them. I still pray for them.
We still have hope for them, and we still pray for them, and we still remember them.
We had to start making decisions that were extremely difficult. We went off of television. We closed the university. Major trauma, of course, major emotional trauma to us. But in order to meet declining income, we had to trim expenses. So it was a very, very emotionally stressful, difficult time.
I give a lot of credit to those who were in leadership positions at that time, that they had the courage to do that, not worrying about loss of power, loss of prestige, loss of finances, loss of self.
My dad had a tumor in his colon, and it was malignant. And during that time, he told me that he was going to present to the board of directors that I should succeed him.
Joseph DeKoch chose his son to succeed him because he wanted to be sure that the changes that he had inaugurated would continue on.
Every step of the way, when Joseph DeKoch Sr. would make a commitment for Christ vis-a-vis Armstrongism, he would have those of us who said that's the right decision, and he would have far more people who were good friends of his, companions, longtime friends, who would tell him he was an idiot, a fool, he was a heretic, he was a, you know, whatever, and it tore him up. He had an existing condition of a cancer, but most of us believe that that was hastened by the incredible stress, and he died prematurely.
His charge to me was finish the job and be faithful. And I took that seriously and still do.
Joseph DeKoch Jr. is gracious and inclusive and warm and gentle, which the Worldwide Church of God desperately needed after Herbert Armstrong.
Armstrongism, one of the things it bred in us was that the higher you got up in the organization, the more answers you were supposed to have, and that inflates your ego. And in the transition, I found, you know, I don't have to pretend that I'm any more special than anybody else. I'm just a normal guy who struggles with life, and I found it so refreshingly freeing to teach people we're all sinners and we all need Jesus.